What's your favorite scary movie?
They mostly come at night. Mostly.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Your suffering will be legendary even in hell.
They're here.
Welcome, victims, to the Horr-Gasm podcast. Kill the lights, lock the doors, get comfy, and prepare for the sexiest and scariest podcast around. I'm Nick, and with me is my co-host, Ali.
Hello, hello.
Hiya.
Hi. Long time no see.
Long time, no podcast. Actually, it hasn't been. It's been a week.
Yeah, we knocked a couple out, and we actually did 2 in a row. That was fun.
That was a long night. It's a long one.
Right, yeah. Trying to do 2 in a row is just kind of like, eh.
But I think by doing that, it shows we can do more multiple orgasms.
I agree.
Because I got the new laptop that'll work and not crash.
Yes.
You got a laptop that works and won't crash.
Yep.
Might be time to try The Thing 1 and 2 once again.
Yes, revisit The Thing. Oh, that was good. I actually was thinking about The Thing the other day. Well, I was watching something with the main character from like the newer one.
Oh yeah.
And like the whatever her name is, Mary whatever. I was want to call her Mary Shelley, but I'm like, no, that's just another female horror lady, a writer. But she I was watching something with her in it, and I was like, yeah, she's cool. She's in The Thing. I'll watch The Thing again. It was a good one.
Sadly, talking about The Thing, which actually kind of worked right into this. I think it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, August 1st.
Yes.
Wilford Brimley, not Richard. Wilford Brimley, who played Blair on
Yes.
The Thing, passed away.
Yes.
Which is sad, because he was such a great actor. Everyone loved him on that.
Yeah.
He was also, he was in Cocoon. He did those diabetes
Yes.
commercials.
You're on Medicare.
Yep.
You have diabetes.
What else?
He
He's
did
a
the
pretty
Quaker
well-known...
oatmeal stuff. He
Yes,
did that
yes,
forever.
that's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Mutant Species he did for 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of that one. Going through more of the horror ones.
Right.
Shadows on the Wall, 1986. He was in Ewoks, The Battle for Endor.
No.
He was Noah.
Oh.
I didn't remember that.
Oh my God.
I thought it was someone else. Murder in Space.
Yeah.
TV movie. He was in The Thing. Death Valley. I don't know if that's horror, but it's got death in it. He's been doing everything.
Yeah. He was a really good actor, and
He really
always
was.
played like that grandfatherly kind of a role. You know what I mean? And just because he had that look about him. Ugh, yeah. It's too bad. It's so sad because all those like really good older movie stars and TV stars are kind of like getting into, that age. Like, except Betty White, she's gonna live forever, ever. But I mean,
And she will live forever.
yes, but like, I don't know. It's so sad. Like all these people that I grew up watching, being like moms, dads, grandparents on TV shows and movies, are now passing away.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I can't take it. My poor heart.
Yeah, everything has come to an end.
Right.
And they've all
yeah.
had really great, lovely careers and long lives. So it's, yeah.
That's the most you can hope for always,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was saying before this, I started watching, I guess it's not really like a horror. I don't know if you would call it a horror. Probably more of a drama. But I started watching The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, yeah.
It is so scary. Like, it really bothers me. I was texting Jessica today while I was watching it. I was halfway through the first episode, and I was like, is this how it's supposed to be? Like, because it's really bugging me. And she's like, yeah, it's kind of, hard watching dystopian future movies and, because your brain just goes to a bad place always, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure everybody's heard about The Handmaid's Tale at this point. Like, I won't spoil anything, but one of the characters, it's not a main character or anything, she gets raped by a bunch of people. And instead of helping her, they put her in a room with a bunch of the other, they call them Marthas, like the people who wear those white things that everybody dresses up as. And they put her in a room and they're like, it was your fault. Like, you led them on and everything. And she's like, no, I was literally walking home. And they're like, shame on you, shame on you. And, like, they point at her and scream. And I'm like,
Well, that sounds nice.
whew, that's a lot. That's heavy. But, it's so messed up. And, like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, this bothers me more than about 90% of the horror movies that we've been watching. Like, isn't that crazy?
Well, when you throw a bit of realism into it, yeah.
For real.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Like, you got your Friday 13th, this zombie, undead
guy
guy who wears a mask. Okay, that's not believable.
Yeah, what's
But-
the likelihood of that happening?
The more you can relate, the more scary it can be.
Yes. And it's just like this real world thing happening where, like, I'm not that far in. I think I'm maybe 3 or 4 episodes in. But, like, the government is overthrown and like, men take over and decide that women are property and they use them for what they need.
Oh, dear.
I know. And it's just like, like, it scares me. It's so scary. But yeah, you're right. The more realistic it is, the scarier it gets.
Yeah, as soon as you can put yourself in the character's, like, shoes and can relate,
Yes.
then you're like, okay, he or she is feeling scared. I'm feeling scared.
Right?
I'm in this. I'm a part.
Yes.
And that's lacking in horror movies, I think,
Right.
nowadays. That's why some of, like, the old 80s, 90s were so good for horror movies. Even early 2000s with, like, The
Yes.
Ring or The Grudge.
Right.
Yeah, they suck you in.
Well, like you were saying that the movie that we watched today was it reminded you of The Grudge, and it
No,
reminded
The
me
Ring.
The Ring. Sorry,
Yeah.
The Ring, and it reminded me of Final Destination.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen The Ring, but it's like a movie that just came out last year, like it came out in 2019, is still using elements from those older movies because it's such a good trope. The find a haunted artifact thing, and people start dying one by one.
Yeah.
Honestly, it even happened in The Grudge. Like, they get to the haunted house, and one after one, if you interact with the house, you start dying.
And usually for ghost movies or horror movies like
Yeah.
that, there's always something they're attached to.
Definitely.
Whether it be a house, or like...
It's an object,
Yeah, like, not The Exorcist. A medieval horror.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good example.
Yes.
The Paranormal Activities, kind of, sort of, not really so much a ghost,
right.
but...
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's all kind of, I guess, sort of related to a person.
Yeah.
More so than anything. But it was, they're all related back to Katie, those Paranormal Activities. But, yeah, it was kind of a cool idea. I don't know, I kind of was hoping that they were going to play on the trope of, like, a camera takes your picture and steals a piece of your soul. Because some
Ooh,
religions
I never thought
and
of that.
places do something like that.
Yeah.
Like, they're scared of cameras. And I thought, like, that would be cool. Like, I wish we could explore stuff like that,
I don't know if there's ever been one like that, where you take a picture and you lose a bit of your soul.
Right?
That'd work.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be good. That could be good. That could go somewhere.
Right?
That could be something.
Like, I don't think it's been explored fully, but I like when they
No.
take that bit of folklore and really spin it, like, into a grandiose tale, right? Because it's literally like what we were just talking about. When it's based in realism, it just, I don't know, makes it easier to relate to and scarier to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We also were talking about dystopian futures, and you said
Yay.
you've seen this trailer. Raised by Wolves
Yes.
is coming to HBO Max, directed by Ridley Scott.
That's going to be awesome.
Oh my goodness, this looks good.
Right?
It's not so much horror, but it has the elements of it.
Right.
It has the makeup for it.
Yes.
It's at the framework for a horror, but it's very sci-fi and futuristic, aliens and the world kind of thing.
I feel like sci-fi can very, very easily tiptoe into horror. At least have
Oh, yeah.
horror elements.
Definitely.
Hey?
Fire in the Sky.
Yes.
Great example. Full-on sci-fi. And that, again, is a real account. That's from a
Right.
real story. Alien. The first
Absolutely.
one is sci-fi horror. Aliens is sci-fi action with horror elements.
Right.
Which you found scarier than the first one.
Definitely.
Like horror has such a broad umbrella and
Absolutely, yeah.
foundation of all that can be just go out from it. Like,
And what can kind of be classified as a horror. Because
Yes.
we talk sometimes, I mean, this is our 44th episode, so we talk sometimes about, is this really a horror movie? And I think that horror can be, horror is different to everybody. Like The
is.
Handmaid's Tale, when I watch it, it really bugs me. Anybody else, they might be like, whatever, it's just a stupid TV show. Like, stuff like that is different for different people.
Yeah, like there's a picture of, I think, one of the test audiences for Alien.
Yes.
When it first came out. And showing this right where the chest burster scene happens.
Yes.
And you got a group of, I think, 5 or 6 people. And you got one woman covering her eyes, other guy's kind of, shocked. And one guy kind of in the back, just smiling.
Yeah.
Laughing away. And you can tell how each one affects. And the guy smiling,
Yes.
he's not liking it.
Mm-hmm.
By his smile, he's enjoying himself. But I think he's more enjoying the effect, how they
Right.
did it.
Yeah.
Maybe other parts maybe got him for scary, but I don't know.
Well, that's like when I went to see it, Chapter 2. I went with...
We went.
Pardon?
Didn't we go?
Yeah, we went. But before that, I had already gone.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't
Either
think so.
I went with you first or I went with Dad first. I don't remember.
Me first. I think it was
yes.
me first.
And then I went with Dad after. And Kyle, because they really wanted to see
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
So we went to like a matinee. So it was like 12:30 on a Sunday when we went. And I had already seen it, so I knew the scene when I could take a potty break. And so, because I didn't drink anything the first time I went, because I didn't want to have to take a potty break. But this time I knew. So I was like, okay, this is a blah scene, so I can go. So I go. And when you're watching it for the first time, you don't really look around a lot. But then when I watched it for the second time, I was like, I'm going to kind of gauge what's going on here. And so I heard people crying. There were people screaming. When I left the theater and I went to use the washroom, there was a lady that's like, okay, 1 more hour. I can do this. 1 more hour. My kids want to see it. And she's like pacing back and forth in front of the doors. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Isn't that crazy,
That's
though?
so good.
Because when I saw it, I just enjoyed it. Like, I think that, especially because it's like a bigger budget now, like these horror movies, It was a bigger budget, really good cast, really good acting. I actually enjoyed it as a movie instead of like, how much can this scare me?
Yeah, and I did the same thing with The Grudge.
Yes, and so I was like, awesome. And then, but you kind of forget, I think just because we're, like, I'm not going to say we're numb, but I'm going to say, like, it doesn't bother us as much anymore.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, I don't know, it was such a good movie, but it didn't scare me anymore. So I kind of missed that from it, The only scene that really, like, kind of bugged me was the one underneath the bleachers. But I knew, you know it's coming. It's the same scare over and over with Pennywise. But,
It is. It actually really is.
Right?
I don't know. I think it's a little overrated.
Yes. Totally.
But it's a I like the movies.
Yeah.
I think they kind of fouled up with the end bit with
I agree.
the real form.
Yeah.
The original was far superior that way.
Yes.
But whatever. Go watch anyways. I think they're good.
Yeah, it's good. They're both good movies.
There's a lot of worse things out there.
Right. Yeah. Oh, oh my God. My sister told me to watch a bit of Velocipaster.
Yes.
And I had kind of, one of the YouTubers I watched, I don't remember who it was. It might have been Jacksepticeye or Cinnamon Toast Can. I don't remember. They watched like a bit of it, like just a touch of it. And because in the very, very beginning, he's like he's obviously a pastor, and he's going to leave his church, and across the street are his mom and dad. I don't know why, but he's like, hey, Mom and Dad. And they're like, hey. And then there's this huge explosion, but it's like obviously from like another movie. And then it pans to him, and he's like, and then it pans back to the car, and it says, insert special effects car on fire.
This sounds like Troll 2, just of level of bad. Or this sounds like an Boyle movie.
And I was looking, and I was like, what? what? And he's like, no, my parents. And then it's like, goes back to the scene. It's like, insert car. And I was like.
This is like I showed you Alone in the Dark. I think it was Alone in the Dark.
Yes. Where
a girl gets killed, and just for
yes.
cuts, her head lifts up.
Yes. But this was
terrible.
Like very, very like.
This was a theater. This was.
I just was so disappointed because I thought, okay, you know, if it's bad, like I love a good cheesy movie, but this was beyond cheesy. This was like I got about half an hour and I was like, I cannot do it anymore. And he gets scraped by a stone or something, and then when he gets mad, he turns into a raptor.
As you do.
It was so bad. I got half an hour in and I was like, I cannot watch this anymore. It was horrible.
Well, you know what wasn't a horrible movie? Polaroid.
I was going to say Polaroid. It was actually pretty good.
Hey, you know what? This one was suggested by one of our listeners, one of our victims.
Yay!
No, I might pronounce her last name wrong, so if I do, I apologize. Rachel Ryder. I think it's Ryder. It could be Reader. Rieder. I think it's Ryder.
Sure.
Yeah. Rachel Ryder suggests this one to us. Check out a movie called Polaroid. Not a bad flick. She was right.
She was right. She was very right.
It was.
And we're not sure if we were like ready for a zombie cleanse or if it was actually a good movie.
Oh,
but...
the palate has been cleansed and it feels so good.
Well, are you ready to talk about it?
I am totally ready. Let's get into it.
All right, so this week we watched Polaroid. It's a 2019 drama horror mystery. Ooh. I like mystery, kind of. There's some pretty good twists and turns.
There is.
And it was directed by Lars Klevberg and written by Blair Butler. Yay! You guys did a good job. It was like... I like those ones where like this is one of those movies where you think you kind of know where it's going when you read it, and it's like, okay, here we go. And then there's some exposition 3/4 of the way through, and they're like, this is why this is happening. And then you get to the end and they're like, it was all fake. This is the real reason. And you're like, what? Yeah. It was kind of fucky.
I think Scream still has the title as... the most, you don't know who the killer is until the end.
The first time I watched Scream, I was like my jaw actually hit the floor.
Yeah.
Like, I could not believe it. I could not believe it.
And they threw you off the track.
Yes.
So many times.
Over and over.
Yeah. And that's what, and they even announced Scream 5.
Yeah.
It's signed. They got, David Arquette's coming back.
Awesome.
You got, what's her name, who played Monica on Friends?
Oh,
Courtney Cox.
Yes.
Yes, she's coming back. And that's something to confirm so far.
Weren't they married? Am I thinking of somebody else?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
Yes, they were. Then they divorced.
Yes.
And then he became a wrestler.
Woo!
He totally did. And actually,
which I mean, like, isn't that the dream?
Well, he did he filmed a movie for WCW back in the late 90s.
Sure.
Called Ready to Rumble. And to promote that, they actually gave him a world title win. Like, they gave him the title.
That's
he won the
awesome.
world title. And there was such a huge backlash in the wrestling community when it happened. He got made fun of because of that.
Huh.
And eventually decided, you know what? Because everyone makes fun of me, I'm going to go and actually become a wrestler. And he did.
Wow.
He did the training. He did everything. He actually went and built/bought a ring to put in his backyard to train.
Yeah.
And he went and did the indie circuit.
Oh my God.
100% did the indies. And he's not that bad.
That's awesome.
He isn't that bad. So for David Arquette, good job. He kind of showed those purists wrong.
Yeah.
And he's still doing the acting thing, but he's kind of doing both. I think he's less wrestling now, more back to the acting.
That's
but
fun.
Still, to take that and say, you know what, I'm going to do a complete career change. I'm going to go become a wrestler.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I love when people can kind of like dip their toes in anything because I think why not? You know, and I'm so sick, especially with the internet these days. We've had this talk 100 times before. I'm so sick of people gatekeeping fandoms, and I just like think like just let people enjoy. Like when I tell people, oh, you know, I really like Star Wars, and sometimes people are like, oh, well, do you know this? Do you know that? Do you know these things? What?
I probably do,
Like,
but
I'm
go
not
on.
allowed to enjoy something without knowing
Yeah.
every ounce of trivia. But that's why I love, like, when we go to trivia nights. Like, I'm basically just there to drink, like, tankards of beer and laugh at you and Tim. And you guys don't even care that I literally know none of the answers. It's just like, you know, but that's how you welcome people into a
Yeah.
community. You know what I mean? Like, instead of being like, oh, well, you don't know this and you don't know that. And blah, blah, blah. It's like, who cares? Like, that's with horror movies. The horror community can be a little toxic, but it's, you know, if you find the right people, it's not that bad. But some are like, oh, well, you like this movie? Well, oh, you like Friday the 13th? Ugh, you like Jason? Oh, he's so stereotypical, blah, 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 blah.
Compared to other fandoms, like you said, Star
Yes.
Wars. Star Wars
Yes.
is horrible.
Star Wars is bad. Lord of the Rings is bad.
Yes, the whole wrestling community is very, 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 very toxic.
Yes. Star Trek.
Star Trek's pretty neutral.
Really?
Star Trek is pretty neutral, to be honest. But the horror community is really together.
Yeah. I
They're-
think because it is a bunch of weirdos, right?
Yeah. We're all
Like,
got
same.
very, very.
And it's so
Different.
broad, you know?
Very.
So, like, horror movies, or, like, zombie horror, you know, there's vampire horror, there's, like, a bunch of different things. And it's fine, you know, everybody kind of has, like, whatever, fandom sort of type thing, you know? So you can kind of always find a niche.
So the thing is, yeah, exactly. And you mentioned horror movie films or a horror fan.
Yes.
Boom, they can really instantly throw out what's your favorite horror movie, and it'll be probably one of the top 5 well-known horror movies of all time. Like, you ask them to, you know, who's your favorite killer? You know, Jason, Freddy, Michael,
yeah.
Pinhead, Chucky, Leatherface.
Yeah.
And out of those 6, they'll say probably 2 of them or 3 of them
Yes.
are the best. Michael always gets the top billing. I think because he was one of the first.
Sure. Yeah.
Is he the best killer? I disagree. Jason's got the highest kill count.
I was going to say, I love me some Jason. And
Oh,
I think part of it is just nostalgia because that's where we started.
Yep.
You started me watching those. And I'm like, yep. Like, I feel like that's why I love Jason so much. Is because he's just the coolest.
Totally is.
Also, like, a serial killer, zombie, like, not time traveling, space. Like, you know, he's got so many cool things about him. I love Jason, obviously.
Yeah.
But
And actually, I should say this for our next Friday the 13th episode, but I'm just going to get the ball, just a little hint, or a tease. Someone brought up on Facebook, they kind of asked this question: how did Jason grow old when he died as a boy?
right.
So, reading other people's answers, my opinion on the matter is he didn't drown.
Interesting.
He didn't drown as a boy. They never did find the body, I don't think.
Okay.
He survived the drowning, and he just kind of lived until episode or film 4 where he dies.
Oh.
Then he becomes a zombie.
Oh.
That's what I think. Because his mom didn't know he was dead.
Right.
He knew his mom was alive, but then he saw her getting beheaded, sort of, kind of. Let's
Okay.
go with that. And then, because he has her head in a shrine.
Right.
In the second movie, so.
That's
yeah.
interesting. I like it.
Yeah, I don't think he dies until the 4th one. Or
Interesting.
dies, anyways.
Dies.
And I think the whole... It's shown in Freddy vs. Jason where the mom kind of keeps bringing him back.
Right,
You know, you have to
right.
kill them, Jason. You got to, you know, avenge yourself, avenge me, and that jazz. But we're going to watch Friday the 13th, sadly. We'll watch Polaroid. And
Yeah.
And so let's go into the cast.
Sure. Because neither of us had heard about the movie, right? Like,
I
we
never.
had just, yeah.
Yeah.
So we just we had to look it up before this,
How do we
tonight.
watch it? Oh, it's
Yeah.
on Netflix. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch it, it's on Netflix. It's not terrible. It was filmed in 2017. Due to the whole Epstein debacle, it didn't get released
Sure.
until 2019.
Right.
It's got the girl who played Cheryl in
Yeah.
Riverdale in it. I'll
Right.
get to her. It's got not a bad cast.
No.
We
The
got-
acting was actually pretty good.
it was really good.
Yeah.
So we got Catherine Prescott. She stars as Bird Fitchard.
Her name was actually Bird.
It was Bird.
Gah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyler Young as Connor Bell. Samantha
Is
Logan.
that tight butt Connor?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It was tight butt. Samantha Logan as Casey Walters.
And that was best friend.
That was gay best
Okay.
friend. Keenan Tracy as Devin Lane.
Okay.
Priscilla Quintana as Mina Rodriguez.
Okay. Were those the other couple that
Yes,
was in the picture
yeah,
with him? Okay.
yeah. Javier
Javier?
Potet as the entity. So he's the one who's kind of
Oh.
the killer,
Yes.
the entity.
He did such a good job.
Yeah.
Is he actually the guy who played, like, the dad? Like, is it the same person
I
who
don't
played
think
the
so.
dad and played the entity?
Let me do a
Okay.
quick looky-loo. I don't believe so, though. No, I think he just did, like, the creature.
Cool.
No, he did not.
Okay.
No. We have... Madeline Petch, who plays
Yes,
Cheryl.
that's her. Yeah.
She's Sarah Dawson. She
Yes.
gets first girl kill status.
Yay.
And we have the lovely Grace Zabriskie as Lena Sable.
Oh, yeah.
She's the one from The Grudge.
Yes.
She's the lady. And she did great in this movie. She's a very good, mean older lady.
Yes.
Intense lady. And almost forgot, Mitch Pileggi as Thomas Pembroke.
Oh, yes. The sheriff.
Yes.
Yes.
I love this guy. He's from X-Files. He's the director of the FBI.
Yeah.
Love him. He's done a lot of other things too. He's done Stargate Atlantis, Son of Anarchy,
Oh, who's he in Sons of Anarchy?
Ernest Darby.
I haven't watched it in like 10 years.
I
should pick it
only
back
watched a
up.
little bit of it.
It's actually pretty good.
I from what I've seen, I liked it. But
Yeah.
I love Mitch Pileggi. He's such a great actor.
Yeah.
Great actor.
For sure. Yeah, I recognized him from X-Files. As soon as he was on screen, I was like, oh, yeah, that guy.
Oh yeah.
A fancy
One
fella.
more iconic looks. Like,
Yes.
He's got the bald head and
Yes.
just a great actor.
Yeah.
Such a big fan.
He looks like the guy that always plays a police officer. You know those guys who are always police officers?
Yeah.
Always. Another one is, did you ever watch Dexter?
No.
Oh, Dexter's dad, if you looked up who the actor is, he literally plays a cop or a lawyer in every movie he's been in. He's never not been a cop. Like, why?
I forget who. There's a Latino actor who's played a gangster with the same name
Oh.
in multiple movies.
Oh.
And that's good for him.
Yeah,
Good
that's
for him.
awesome. Oh, fun.
So, alright, so I'm guessing we both kind of just heard about this movie when we found this little suggestion by Rachel on
Yes.
Facebook.
Yes, that's what I mentioned before. Is that
But when you saw the trailer,
Yes.
or even like, what did you think about when you first kind of read the synopsis?
like it sounds interesting, but it like I talked about before, it kind of sounded sort of Final Destination-ish, where like, you know, obviously a picture is taken and people start dying. And I wasn't quite sure how they were going to swing that, but I don't know. I'm not really into the current teenage horror movies. Like, I love a good 80s slasher with teenagers or kids, but the current ones, I just feel like people are getting too scared to, like, kill kids anymore in movies.
Yeah.
And I know that these are teenagers, but it's just not as gruesome. And honestly, this was not a very graphic movie, which I felt like they
No.
could have been much more graphic. Like,
Yeah.
there was nothing hardly on screen,
No.
which is disappointing.
Another thing you brought up while watching, which we can talk about now as
Yeah.
well, is how ghosts or supernatural things can interact
Yes.
and grab and touch. Now, apparently with this, we thought he had a knife the whole time.
Yes.
He doesn't. His one arm or hand becomes like a knife
like a
stabby
knife, yes.
thing.
Yes.
That's cool.
That is
I
cool.
didn't realize until the end he did that, but yeah, it's a very... I get what you mean.
It bugs me when ghosts or paranormal things can interact with actual things, because I feel like if they can interact with things, then things should be able to interact with them, i.e. getting shot, getting kicked, getting hurt. Because I don't like the idea that, like, it doesn't go both ways. Kind of like they can, I don't know, manifest their hand to pick something up or something. Like, I just don't get how it works.
I
and
remember
it bugs me.
in Ghost. Yes.
That's what we're going to go with?
Yes. Because they explain it really well in that movie.
Okay. I've never seen it. Like,
You haven't seen Ghost?
I've seen parts of it, but it's...
Well, when he sees this one, I forget the guy. He's a really well-known actor. He's been dead for a while, and he kind of gets chased by Patrick Swayze's character because he sees him move stuff.
Sure.
And he's like, "How do you do that? Show me." And he shows him. You gotta basically concentrate because the ghosts are energy, and you just really gotta focus and concentrate, and you can move stuff.
Okay.
And that's the explanation.
But, like, move stuff or pick stuff up and
Both,
stab
everything.
somebody?
They can do that with everything.
Interesting.
Move, touch, interact. It's all about focus and concentration and practice.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't like it. It just feels like, this is going to sound childish, but it feels like unfair that they can, interact with things. I don't know. It bugs me.
And,
like, and I get, like, moving stuff across a table or knocking something off.
But then you also have, of a haunted house, they can slam a door that's across the house and yet at the same time be in the same spot with characters.
Yeah, and, like, I get, like, door slamming and stuff, but it's, like, actually, I think what bugs me is actually being able to, like, manipulate an object, not just slam a door.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get
It's
that.
just something weird to me that it just
everyone's got their own opinion.
Yeah, it just doesn't roll with me.
Yeah, whatever.
How about that?
That's your opinion. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wah.
Rawr.
Jeez. Settle down.
Take that.
Wah.
Wah.
You know what? Because of all this wahs and anger coming out of you, let's get into the plot. Let's get into this movie.
Sure. It's a pretty quick plot, I think.
It is. It's pretty simple.
Pretty straightforward.
We'll
Until
go-
the end.
Yeah, they try and throw a few swerves at you.
Yes.
They got me. They got me with the swerve.
Yes,
The
the
first
last
swerve,
swerve. It got you
first-
had it called. You had the like ending called.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Proud
the
of you.
first swerve, I'm like, oh, so it's not who we think it is. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh wait, yeah, okay, it is. But anyway, so start off with Sarah,
Yes.
who is played by Cheryl from Riverdale,
Yep.
and her friend are going through a box of her late mother's stuff when they find a Polaroid camera.
So did we ever find out if her mom was like connected to any of this? Was her mom one of the people that this guy was? No.
I don't think so.
She was just a happy accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her last name's Dawson. She has no connection
Nothing.
to...
Hey.
No, that's... You know what? That's a good point. They just found
Feels like a plot hole.
it. Well...
But it's probably just been sold at garage sale after
I
garage
think
sale
so.
type thing. Hey.
Yeah, I think that's... Yeah. So, the friend receives a like from her crush. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Oh my
Sarah!
God, dude,
He liked you.
Jim liked my picture. Oh my god. What are you gonna do? Okay, so... her friend receives a like from her crush, which provokes Sarah to make a photo in lingerie on the Polaroid camera.
Ow, ow.
When the flash goes off, Sarah seems uneasy. Her friend leaves and Sarah's home alone. When she takes a look at the Polaroid, there is a creepy shadow behind her in the photo of her. Startled, she treats it as a smudge. Everyone thinks it's a smudge.
Like,
That's stupid. Stop
right?
it. And starts cleaning.
Yes.
She hears eerie sounds in the attic, which she investigates. She gets framed in the attic and falls, but ends up dangling by her ankles instead of falling to the floor.
Right.
While feeling a brief moment of relief as her hair dangles in her face, she is then pulled up by an entity and is killed off-screen before her dead body tumbles to the ground.
Everybody is killed off screen, basically, in this.
Pretty much.
Except the one girl, the like snotty tarot card reading girl. But they do kill her off
it's
screen.
still death off screen.
Yeah.
And like when I
Annoying.
first saw this is very similar to a death in Predator 2.
Oh.
When one of the detectives, he's investigating one of the spots where the Predators murdered everyone. And
As he does.
As he does. That's what he does. And he gets kind of distracted and he falls from the ceiling and he gets grabbed by the Predator by his leg.
Oh.
And you can see he just grabs him. And he's looking up and you see the Predator looking down on him. And he tries to get his gun out. Predator pulls him up and you hear a bit of struggle. And then you hear death.
Oof.
And that's kind of similar to how this ends up. She gets caught by her ankles. You think it grabbed her. 100% grabbed her. She didn't catch herself by the feet in the attic because I don't think her ankles are that strong. And, so pulls her up and then kills her and drops her.
And I was just looking at IMDb, and this was rated PG-13.
Oof.
Tell me a good movie, or not even a movie. Tell me a good horror movie that's PG-13.
Also, the ratings in different countries are different.
Right.
Like a PG-13 here is like NC-17 in the States. Or I think rated R in the States is NC-17 here.
But that's rough. PG-13? You don't want a horror movie to be PG-13.
No. Well, no. You gotta have the boobs, you gotta have the language, you gotta have the violence and the sex.
Right? And a death. I would have given anything to see more than blood droplets.
Yeah.
You know? It's just kind of like that last little punch that you need to really send home.
Yep.
You know? And like, and it's probably also a preferential thing. Like, I appreciate gore more than I like jump scares. Jump scares don't do anything for me.
Yeah.
But gore sometimes really bugs me. And I like to be bugged. That's why I watch horror movies. It's because I want to feel something. So, when they kind of do that, it's almost like horror blue balls for me. Is that, it's like, oh, don't laugh at me. Is that it's like, you see...
tease. Just tease and tease and you don't get the payoff.
Exactly. It's like what the one girl where like the gray hands come and cover her face and we're like, oh my God. And then the next day they're like, oh my God, they found her and her head was turned around exorcist style.
And that
like, fucking show me.
That exact scene, the way the lights flash.
Yes.
I told you, because they didn't do that. I thought they were going to have, as the light flashes, you see it, the entity, and then it slows the swing, it gets closer. I thought they didn't do that. I thought, they messed up. They had a perfect opportunity to use a great effect, didn't do it.
And that's what they did really well in Eli.
But I'm not done. What they did though later on in the movie, they did the same effect.
Yes.
But better. I'm like, you know what? Okay.
Fine.
They listened to me. Good job. Good job.
Yeah, in Eli they did that really well.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the best part of that movie when we watched that.
And the kids running and the flashlights going
hospital.
back.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the best part of that. But it's just, those missed opportunities that could have given it that extra bit of creep for me. I don't know. That's what I think anyways. But again, everybody's sense of horror is different. Some people cannot do jump scares. Cannot. And it's interesting.
I said this before, but I like this perfect example for This Is the End when the hellhound bursts through the wall. The one girl in that theater.
Oh, yeah.
Shrieked, got up, and walked out.
Oh.
That alone made the movie experience just great. Just because it wasn't a scream, it was a fucking shriek.
Oh, no.
I swear she shit herself.
Oh.
She must have. The sound that came out of her voice was, she was scared.
I like that.
I
miss going to movie theaters, can I tell you?
Yeah.
Fucking COVID.
It's fucking COVID.
Piece of shit.
Nah, blah.
Blah, blah.
Just wait till the COVID movies come out.
Oh, I'm ready.
Wait. Back to the plot.
Yes.
Shy, high school student Bird, is given an old Polaroid camera by her coworker
Dumb
Tyler.
fucking name.
who got it from a garage sale. The camera has the initials RJS carved into it.
Yes.
Bird snaps a picture of Tyler, but later notices an odd smudge-like figure on the photo.
And Tyler totally wants to get in her pants, like so bad.
He got friend zoned to death.
And like he gets, ooh,
Yeah.
Ooh, he simped to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes in for a kiss, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Like,
and he's
sorry.
"Oh,
I didn't mean to.
And she's like, "Yeah, I have to go."
She bails. And we find out that Bird gets called Scarf Girl because she always wears a scarf. We find out she's got a scar on her neck, and she's very...
Dumbest fucking reason.
Yeah,
I hated this. This was the worst part of the movie. It's like, look, I'm so quirky, and I wear a scarf, and it's for a really traumatic reason, and I'm so different, and everybody picks on me. It's like, stop it.
I remember the word I was thinking earlier. It's very vain of her.
Yes.
To cover it up, thinking,
yes.
I'm ugly with the scar. I'm sorry, that's...
And it's literally, like, it's just a cut across her neck. Like, nobody would notice. It's not like it's, like, scar tissue or anything. It just looks like she got burnt by, like, a curling iron, honestly.
It's like a good scar, but it looks cool. I'm like, cool.
Nobody would notice you have long hair. Like,
yeah.
Annoying. It was annoying. It was a dumb plot point that didn't have to be there, honestly.
And it doesn't really come to effect. It doesn't.
No.
It has no conclusion. It doesn't really go anywhere. It really doesn't.
It's just the one point where he's like, "This is your fault," and she's like, "Everything is my fault. I'm so damaged."
Yeah.
It's like, stop it. I hate... That's the only thing that I didn't like in this movie was what they did with the main character. She was so annoying. Okay. She was annoying. And it's too bad that when they make the main character purposefully flawed like that, like really for stupid things.
Yeah,
like that doesn't make any sense. Like they call you Scarf Girl.
They want to give you a flaw that you can overcome and grow from it.
Yeah.
They don't do that with this. She loses her scarf halfway through, but it's then forgotten.
And then nobody brings it up.
No.
You dumb fucking lady named Bird. Like that's what they should be picking on you for. Like, I literally just watched a Bob's Burgers episode where they called Tina Fluffy Butt because she sang a jingle in the bathroom. And she's like, you know what? That's actually a cool nickname by the end of it. And I'm like, yeah, she was like sad about it for 2 days.
That's
what I'm going to start calling Ichabod. It's Fluffy Butt.
Or snoozing a little producer.
Yeah. I wonder if the microphones, now that we have it set up like this, if they're picking up her snorts and snores. We'll find out, I guess, in post.
I'll find out.
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post. So, Bird attends a costume party with her best friend, Casey, and meets her other friends, Mina's boyfriend, Devin, Avery, and Bird's high school crush, Connor.
Ooh,
Cute butt Connor.
Cute butt Connor.
Yeah, even her gay friend, Casey, said he's got cute butt.
Yeah, it's like, but you like girls. How can you like him? And she's like, I don't like him, but I can notice a nice butt. It's like, okay.
I saw him in like
swim. Yeah,
a Speedo, and he's got the goods, and he's like, oh my god, stop it,
stop it, you're so bad.
God. She uses her Polaroid camera to take the group's picture, and Avery later snaps a selfie with it.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Tyler's killed by the entity, and Sheriff Pembroke informs Bird. At home, Bird sees Tyler's photo free from the shadow, which has mysteriously transferred to Avery's photo.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he's got an interesting death. I like the effect when the sheet came at him.
Oh, yeah.
That's a cool effect.
Yeah, that was very cool.
I like that. That was a good little... You don't see his death, but I like the sheet effect. That was a good effect. Avery is killed when the entity snaps her neck. So
Which is what I was talking about before with turning her head around like an exorcist.
Yeah, it grabs her and then it cuts away. And
yes.
Yeah, her death, that scene is on the picture of the...
I heard that in the
I did
microphone.
too. What a silly dog. Yeah, like the picture on Netflix.
Yes, I believe it. Yeah.
That's her death.
But it's cool. Anytime that they have hands on a face or something,
especially the hands that look like that. That's pretty cool. When Bird learns about this, she tries to destroy the camera and attempts to warn her friends. They laugh at her.
Because she's so crazy, you guys.
Devin attempts to burn the group photo, thinking, oh yeah, that'll fix it. But when the flames reach Mina in the photo, her arm spontaneously combusts.
Yes.
And the flames cannot be extinguished.
Yes.
That was
Because
a
they
cool
try.
point. That was a cool point. And
Yes.
it actually comes back to that. So,
Yes.
a few times.
And then her friend's like fingers start to get singed too,
Yes.
and they're trying to put it out with a fire extinguisher.
Casey's fingers are slightly singed before Bird stomps out the fire, and
Yes.
the photograph restores itself.
Yes.
That's
exactly.
the thing. It restores itself. You think it would fix them too, but nope, they stay burnt and hurt. Mm-hmm. Mina's taken to the hospital to undergo surgery for her arm because it's been on fire for a good minute and a half.
Yes. 3rd-degree burns.
At least.
Ugh.
Devin and Casey stay with her while Bird and Connor leave to learn more about the camera. Mm-hmm. While in the antique store, Bird is attacked by the entity, which behaves like a photograph,
Right.
following the same rules as photographic development. An example, it is sensitive to heat and light.
Yes. Yes.
She questions why she was chased to and notices that her reflection is in the photo's background. So she's
Yeah,
now,
Connor notices that.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're in this picture," and she's like, "What? No, I'm not." And he's like, "Yeah, look at the window. Your reflection's in there." And she's like,
See, I thought he looked. I know what he saw because when
Yes.
she's in there looking, he's looking at the photo, and he has like a oh my god look on his face. I'm like,
Yeah.
he saw either something we missed. No, it's just her picture. Mm-hmm. Mina is killed in the hospital by the entity when she is left alone briefly. Devin finds Mina's dead body and blames Bird for her death.
"Yes,
Bird and we're not sure who gets killed.
yes, exactly."
Again, this is a good. They do some good things in this movie.
Yes.
You're not sure if it's going to be her or him. It's her. Mm-hmm. Bird and Connor research and discover that the camera was owned by a photography teacher named Joseph Sable, RJS. Roland Joseph Sable.
Yes.
From their school years ago. He was accused of torturing 4 students and killing 3 of them while taking maniacal photographs.
Yes,
Guy
exactly.
was fucked. One of the captives escaped and Roland was killed by police. Devin confronts Bird at the diner and accuses her of being responsible for what happened to Mina.
Yes.
Can't blame the guy, but come on. Like, she didn't know what he was going to do.
Right.
She didn't know. She didn't know.
Exactly.
He attempts to take a picture of her as a threat. With Connor and Devin both fighting for the camera, Devin is accidentally snapped by the camera, and the shadow transfers to his photo, showing
Yes.
he is next. I like that.
This is cool.
And
yes.
this is where I can see you can relate it to Final
Destination,
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I get that. You know what? That's a cool effect. And
It is.
It's a cool little plot point.
This part I really, really liked. I like when they like add these sort of things and then really play it up. Same with like with the burning, where we know that if you affect the actual photograph, which they do in this scene as well, it actually affects you in real life as well.
Yeah. Devin lunges at Bird. Casey saves Bird by stabbing Devin's photo with a
Picture,
pencil,
yeah.
injuring him in real life.
And he has like a hole through his hand.
He's got like Jesus Christ nail
Yes.
in hand.
Stigmata.
And there's no blood,
Yes.
which is kind of neat. There's no blood. Devin, upset from being stabbed, becomes aggressive and accidentally slaps a sheriff named Pembroke.
Yes.
No, he slaps someone else. That's a lie. He slaps some deputy or someone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
The Wikipedia's wrong.
I thought he did. Oh, maybe it wasn't.
No,
the
it was just
sheriff.
some
Yeah.
random cop guy who was getting donuts or something. Devin is detained and is later killed in his cell by the entity.
Yes, which is where we see the stabby.
Yeah, and I like how it doesn't know where you are right away. It has to look for you.
Exactly.
And that's a good change.
Yeah.
As opposed to it always knows where you are.
Right.
Like Jason, like Freddy, like Michael.
Yes. They
It has
just
to-
kind of know.
It makes him have to work for it.
Yes,
and that makes it
exactly.
that much. It adds and heightens the tension.
Yes, it
Which
totally does.
I like.
Which you can't hide, especially with the dark thing. It mostly gets you in the dark because there's no you can't get the light or the heat, and it's such a cool element to play with. Like they deal with that, like with the radiator in the beginning scene with Bird, when she goes back to the antique shop, and the light when she has a flashlight and it hurts it. Basically, it just kind of recoils, I guess. But they're cool points that you can use, especially in a movie, movie elements, right? I like that.
Connor, Casey, and Bird learn Roland's wife is alive and visit her.
Yes.
They meet an elderly lady named Lena Sable,
Yes.
who explains that the camera actually belonged to her daughter, Rebecca Jane Sable, or JS. Lena explains that Rebecca was slow, and when gifted with the camera, she became very attached to it. As a result, Rebecca was bullied by 4 classmates who took the camera and used it to take inappropriate photos of her. She committed suicide out of shame, causing her father Roland to abduct and kill her bullies in a fit of rage. Now, even in death, Roland roams looking for the last bully who escaped her to kill him.
Right.
Lena shows the two a picture of the survivor, and they search the yearbooks. Bird finds out that the survivor was Sheriff Pembroke.
Dun, dun, dun.
Of course. In an attempt to stop the entity from killing them, Connor takes a picture of Pembroke, who reveals that Roland was the real bully to Rebecca,
Yes.
having sexually assaulted her.
Blah.
Yeah.
Blah.
The four students, including him, were Rebecca's friends trying to warn her of her father's actions upon finding her nude pictures in his possession.
Yeah, and trying to help her.
Yeah. Fearing the public would find out, Roland abducted them, prompting Rebecca to kill herself out of misplaced guilt.
Yes.
This is what threw me off. I thought, oh, it's Rebecca. She's the one doing the killing. 'Cause
Right.
The voice sounds feminine.
Yes.
The weird voice that comes out it has a feminine feel.
I
to
think
it.
they do that to throw you off, though.
They got me. That was a good little throw off. They got me pretty good here. So the entity tears Pembroke's picture in half, killing him. Great
Yes.
effect. The entity stabs through Casey's leg, impairing her ability to walk. Connor is separated from Casey and Bird. The girls find safety in the school showers,
Yes.
with Bird turning on the hot water to create heat, preventing the entity from reaching them. Now, if this was rated R, they would be naked,
Yes.
or at least topless. Bird leaves to find Connor. They reunite, and she has an idea that involves getting the camera back
Right.
and going somewhere where the entity can fully develop. The entity manifests and drags Connor away, but Bird takes a picture of herself, prompting the creature to chase after her. This is smart.
So smart.
Like,
Yeah.
this movie, while isn't the most original movie, does some very smart things in it.
Yes.
I like these parts. It's really good. She leads the entity into school's dark room, where it is able to fully develop.
Right.
She takes a picture of the entity, crushing the photo, trying to kill it. Unsuccessful and fearing for her life, she then burns it last minute,
Yes.
disintegrating the entity where everything took place many years ago. She reunites with her friends and throws the camera into the river.
Yay.
Now, when she takes a picture of the entity, her hand's in it, like her
Right.
2 fingers.
Yeah.
So when she's crushing it, her fingers go all cracky and broken.
Yeah.
And when she burns it, her fingers burn too.
Yes.
And I think that's a great, again, it shows that she's determined, sacrifices involved.
For sure.
It's a great ending. That I didn't think it'd go that far. I thought you'd take a picture.
Yeah.
It would go poof, movie over.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
no.
agree. Yeah.
It
It's
takes
interesting.
the rules and it works. It stays within the rules.
Right. Yeah, and does it still kind of go after her because it's what's it called? She's still technically in the photo.
I think so. I think it doesn't make it the victim,
Sure.
but it becomes now tangible.
Yes.
She can hurt it. She can stop it.
Yes, she could basically manipulate the Polaroid.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, it was good. It was such a cool concept.
And it shows that when the sheriff gets ripped in half, if the photo gets wrecked or
Yes.
you die, and then
Yeah.
you're dead. So,
Why wouldn't she have just ripped the photo and the piece where her fingers weren't?
I don't know if it would have worked. Because I
Yeah.
think the photo after also fixed itself after.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So I think it would still come back.
Yeah. Really?
I think so. Not a bad movie.
Not a bad movie at
Not
all.
a
I actually
bad-
enjoyed it.
I did too.
I was a little nervous because our last viewer request was Phantasmic or Phantasm or whatever.
Yeah, Phantasm.
And it was a movie.
And yet
so
that's
I-
such a cult following. But
yes,
again,
I know.
like
and
we're
people
talking
love
about,
that movie. But I'd never
Yeah.
heard of this one, and I was like, okay, so this could either be really good or really bad. Basically, right? And I was pleasantly surprised.
I was too. It wasn't that bad. It was not
Yeah.
that bad at all.
Yay.
How would you rate this? What would you rate out of how many Horr-Gasms?
Like, I would probably give it a solid 3. I think for all of the flaws it kind of pulled in, like that we talked about, I think a 3 is a good place for
Yep.
it to sit.
I agree. It got really poor reviews. I think it got unnecessary. I liked it too. I gave it a 3. Like there's a lot of smart scenes.
Yes.
I
agree.
Music was meh.
Yeah.
Her scarf thing was dumb.
Stupid.
But other than that, though, this was a really good movie.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it.
It was very tame.
Yeah.
So it's good for new viewers, people who are just getting into horror movies.
People who don't like gore.
It's good for young viewers. They want to show something to their kids. That's horror, again, quotation marks.
Right.
It's a good one to start.
Totally.
I don't think there's any much bad language.
No.
I don't recall. There was no sex, nudity.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
I agree. It was, I enjoyed it. It's, one of those movies where I'd be like, oh, you're not a big horror movie fan? Yeah, why don't you try Polaroid? It's really tame. Yeah. Not super scary. There's a couple jump scares, but other than that, it's pretty, And even as somebody who enjoys gore, I didn't, it's like I wish it was there, but I don't think it made it a bad movie.
Yeah, the goriest part is probably Kill the Flick.
Right.
Is when the sheriff gets ripped in half.
Yes.
Like, you see him as reacting at first.
Right.
Because it grabs his head and kind of pinches, like, oh, it's just trying to squish his head. It's going to go pop.
Yeah, and he just kind of screams, and you're like, oh.
And then it tears, and you see from behind, and it's very blurry. It's
and
dark.
brief. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just goes and apart.
Yeah.
And that's the most gorgeous
Not like 13
part.
Ghosts, where it's like we literally see his insides. It's just like a blip.
Yeah.
Half and half.
But of this movie, it's the most goriest kill.
It is, yes.
So
the next closest would be the girl, like Mina or whatever her name was, when she popped down from the ceiling hung.
Yeah.
But that was, again, they don't show anything. She just kind of like goes blip, and you're like, oh.
A little bit of blood.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And that's it.
Nothing severe.
No.
No.
So, yay.
That's Polaroid.
That's Polaroid. We did a watch. A heckin' watch.
It was good.
It was good.
It was a good. Great suggestion.
Yeah, I was jazzed. So when you guys suggest movies, obviously we throw it right into the lineup, and we watch it right away. We'll move the earth to watch your movies. So because our lineup is never set in stone, that's why we only announce 1 week ahead. Because while we have movies almost right to the end of the year, because we get excited and we love to make lists, everything is movable.
We try and stick with, if you have like a theme month,
yes.
we try and stick with that. But
yep. But then we'll pop your suggestions right in
pretty
after.
much, yep. Because we got after a couple movies here, we got this. Next week is Midsummer.
Yep.
I haven't seen it. Have you?
Yes, I've seen most of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's that. There's one more, and then we're right into Killer Robot Month.
Yes. I'm interested, because you still haven't seen Hereditary, right?
No.
I'm interested in how you're going to react to Midsummer. Because it's a very slow burn.
I can work with slow burns.
Do you like slow burns?
I watch Alien. It's one of the slowest burns ever.
Fair. Because Hereditary is like nothing happens until the last 10 minutes.
Really?
And, yep.
Huh.
Yep.
That's really slow.
It is, like, I'm talking slow. And I know Midsummer is about the same. Like, it's very slow. And the payoff in Midsummer, though, is worth it. I think Hereditary, the payoff is worth it as well. But I'm interested in what you're going to think. Because it's the same producer, director. I think director. And so I'm interested in what you're going to think. Because they're very different movies. Different style. Very artistic. And, yeah. I'm interested in what you're going to think.
I'll find out.
Yay! Find out next week.
Next week, Midsummer.
Midsummer. And it's summer right now. It's midsummer right now. Oh my God, you guys.
It's near end, but it's close enough. It's late mid.
I don't need that kind of negativity in my life.
Okay.
And thank you so much for joining us. This episode was brought to you by our executive producer, Ichabod, who you got to hear snore and snort. We hope you enjoyed your Horr-Gasm as much as we did. Please don't forget to rate, download, and subscribe. Also, like and follow us on Facebook at Horr-Gasm Podcast, Instagram at Horr-Gasm, Twitter at Gasm Horror, and YouTube at the Horr-Gasm Podcast. If you have a movie you'd like us to review, this is the best way to let us know. We hope to see you again next week because we have such sights to show you. Plenty of Horr-Gasms for you to experience.
Later.
Bye.